Hey guys, how are you today? I started making another creation and thought, hey, maybe I should bring some people on. Sorry, my stove's a little hotter than I thought. So I'm doing brunch. I'm doing kind of a savory French toast because I'm so excited. I found sprouted bread. So it's like Ezekiel bread without, because like when you sprout it or ferment it, it takes the gluten out of it, and it's from organic wheat. So we're gonna try this today and see how we do. I'm just gonna pop this on here. Got my kitchen's kind of a mess because I've been prepping stuff. I'm gonna do a video of making some kimchi as well later on, and so I figured I would do this. Let's turn that down. I got all excited and left the pan on while I was getting the foam set up, so we'll just get it done. But yeah, I'm so excited. So any of you guys that are gluten-free, that have had problems, this supposedly is supposed to not cause a problem, and usually I get really sick with wheat, so we're gonna see how it's done, because I've done okay with some like Belgian wheat as long as it is sprouted. So let's try this, because somehow when you sprout it, it gets rid of the gluten, and all my salt is falling over here too. I guess we'll try it this way. Sorry, I got dishes all in the sink ready to go. Good. Am I even on this? Okay, good. It is what it is. Hey, we're real here. We make it real. So mom on a mission. Alright, so I just had some eggs that I got from the chickens and put it on the bread. I thought that would be really good. And then some jackfruit barbecue that I had made. We didn't use it all, so I had saved it, and I'm probably not using it all again. But the great thing about it is you can always freeze it and use some for later. That's what I love about prep work, is save your food. Don't throw things away. Leftovers can be frozen and reused. They make awesome lunches. That's what my kids take to school. Usually what I'll do when I cook is I'll make a meal large enough that, because we don't eat seconds. I mean, some people do, some don't. We just eat what we need that night, and then the next morning I have the boys warm their stuff up so they can have their lunch. Because at least I know when I send them food what's in it. I know that it's organic. I know there's no fillers, no artificial anything. And you know, people can get butthurt all over it. I don't give a rat's ass, because I love my kids and I know what's in the food I'm giving them, so I know it's safe. And that bread is really soft. I've used gluten-free bread for so long I forgot how soft gluten bread can be. This is gonna be such a treat. I'm excited. So yeah, and then what I did was I took a head of cabbage and I quartered it like this, because I actually use the ProSmart slicer. That's one of the companies that I work for. But this is the slicer right here. It's really awesome. Really super sharp blade. I just put it on the thin slice setting and then run the blade through. Oops, and some of the cabbage fell off. And then what I did was I just shredded it, because you just pop it on the safety handle and feather it through the slicer real good. But that is what I did, and then I fried it up, added a little water to soften it more, and then I just added it to the barbecue. So we're gonna make French toast barbecue sandwiches. I thought that would be kind of a fun little brunch, and all that jazz. Awesome. I'm starting to get a little golden. I could turn the heat back up a little bit. I thought, you know, I've had enough questions. I'm going to just start doing more of these. For those of you that want to eat a little more healthy, that are looking for some alternatives. Because wheat isn't necessarily bad for you, or any of those grains. The problem is when you're eating it without sprouting it or without fermenting it, because our bodies cannot use gluten. Wheat, rye, oats, barley, spirulina, even, was it spelt? Oh, there's a lot of different ones, but they're grass. And grass, well, who eats grass? Cattle. Horses do, but they also need grain because they don't have the ability to ferment like a cow or a sheep or a goat. They're called ruminants, for those that don't know. And ruminants have, like, what, 4 stomachs? And that's why they chew their cud. The grass and weeds and whatever it is that they eat gets in that first stomach and it starts fermenting and getting gross, and they'll chew it again to kind of soften it up, and then it'll go into another stomach and it keeps fermenting and kind of gross, but it breaks down those glutens so they can actually use those without any problem. But unfortunately, human beings can't use it. Even horses, like I said, have to have grain because they can't process the glutens either. But like in Ezekiel in the Bible, it talks about how you got to ferment it or sprout it and we can use it. Then it becomes a viable food. And so, but usually Ezekiel bread is about $20 a loaf. So, yeah. But I found this one, this tri-seed, over at Fred Meyer. I guess Kroger would have it. It's Dave's Killer Bread. And it just says sprouted whole grains, non-GMO, USDA organic. I was like, what? No way. But yeah, organic whole wheat, that's sprouted whole wheat flour. And so it does have some organic cracked wheat, so we'll see. It might have a little gluten. Sprouted barley, sprouted oat, sprouted rye. So, oh yeah, organic wheat gluten. So there is a little bit, so we'll have to see how this goes. So we might be having a little bellyache. Unfortunately, it looks like there's canola oil. I was so excited I didn't really look. Usually I try to get away from canola, but the great thing is I can write the company, call the company, whatever, and say, hey, why don't you use a healthier oil option, like coconut or sunflower or, something else. Now, sunflower oil is all right. You got to remember that there's a lot of omega-6 inside of sunflower, so you want to make sure you're offsetting it. Get your omega-3s. Make sure you're getting those omega-3s every day, because your brain needs it. Omega-6, omega-9, they're okay for you, but you don't need as much, and it can actually cause problems. From what I recall, I think it was cardiovascular. I'd have to look that up again. Look for those resources, but from what I recall, but I do know for sure we do need those omega-3s. So I'm going to get this. I've got this Veganase I really love because it's soy-free, canola-free. This is the one that I usually get over at Fred Meyer, Kroger. It's like, I think, $10 for the thing, so it's not something you're going to eat a ton of. But in reality, we really shouldn't be overindulging in things, like condiments, and I mean, it's just too much. So, but I think a little bit is okay, because this has the hyoleic, safflower, filtered water, brown rice, apple cider vinegar, pea protein, sea salt, mustard, flour, lemon juice. So it's just really simple. It tastes good. It's not, some of these mayonnaises are nasty. I'm not gonna lie, it's gross. But this one I do like. It tastes like mayo. Now I go back to the less healthy mayonnaises, and I actually don't like the flavor as much. I like this better. So usually I use, on my mustard, I like the Grey Poupon because it's really organic and well made. It's very clean, non-GMO. I think it's made in Italy. And it's really good. They use like white wine in it, the mustard, as well as your vinegars and, what else was in it? Horseradish, because I think that's what gives it kind of its zip, besides the vinegar and wine. Gotta stir it up, because it kind of gets, this does tend to be a little bit watery sometimes, but it's because there's no eggs in it. And I think the egg is, excuse me, the main emulsifier in your mayonnaise. But I figured a little mayo is good with the barbecue. And so, anyway, I just thought that would be kind of a fun little brunch idea, because give a little extra protein if you don't want to be totally vegan on your meal. This is still considered vegetarian because it's not meat per se, it's just egg. But if you're gonna have eggs, I would suggest going cage-free, free range. That's the way my girls are. I feed them just your basic organic birdseed grains, and then I get them their those dehydrated worms for the mealworms for the cooler months. Right now they're still getting them just because there's not as much availability of insects. So I want to keep them healthy. And then they just run around in the yard and do their little crazy clucking thing. Gotta love them. But yeah, try not to support farmers that are cruel. I mean, I just don't see the point in keeping little animals in cages and in areas that they can't move around and their quality of life is bad. But anyway, it's not very big. I was making one for Boyd. He wasn't too hungry, but yeah. Simple, easy, savory. You know, I bet a little garlic would probably be good on it. I like to play with my flavors. So maybe put a little garlic powder, a little salt. So yeah, whenever you're cooking healthy, just, have fun with it. Because it can be something that's kind of drudgery when you're like, oh, what do I make? What do I do? I don't have anything. Nutritional yeast. Let's get a little B vitamins. Oops. About out of it. I gotta go get another big package because that stuff is awesome. So yeah, there we go. There's a good healthy vegetarian brunch. And so I will see you guys later.